Alarming new numbers that show rising default rates on credit card loans, now at the highest level.
I have never been more disgusted in my life.
All right, so listen, to get this video started, I have to give you some numbers first because they are genuinely alarming when it comes to credit card debt. In 2024 alone, Americans defaulted on $59 billion in credit card debt. That's a 34% jump from the year before. But to put that in perspective, at the time, that was the highest level of credit card debt defaults since the 2008 financial crisis, obviously since the Great Depression. But here's what's driving U.S. credit card debt now. People are getting sued by banks because they are defaulting on their credit card debt like never before. Back in 2008, it was $59 billion worth of defaults, credit card defaults around the country. You want to know what the U.S. credit card debt in 2025 just crossed? $1.2 trillion with a T. $1.2 trillion worth of credit card debt. That means that the average family is carrying about $10,000 in credit card debt. But once you end up falling behind on credit card payments and creditors send you information and you ignore them, they don't just send you to collections anymore. Now they're taking steps to get their money back. They are suing people in court. Yeah, so all those ignored letters that just go right in the trash bin, right now, they're bringing you and those letters into court and suing people with debt. Now, here's the part that should make your blood run cold. Less than 10% of the people who get sued by the credit card companies actually end up showing up for their court dates when they actually have the court trial about their debt. That means that these people are automatically defaulting on their judgment for the civil trial. Not negotiating, not trying to manage it, not coming to an arrangement. They're getting defaulted by a judge. Here's what happens when you don't show up for your credit card trial and they default you. They can garnish your wages. They can come after your tax return, and they can even levy your bank account. So you want to try to avoid a judgment as much as possible. All right, let's see what people have to say about this.
So I'm getting sued by a credit card company. It's
getting real in these streets.
Old credit card. I have trial this morning, and I was served my papers about 2 months ago, and I've done a lot of research as far as what I need to do, what I should say, and from what I was seeing in other videos, a lot of you guys actually are going through the same thing. So I try to do my own research. Got as ready as I think I could be. Got all my papers and stuff this morning. We'll see how this turns out. I'm about to go in. My trial is, I have the appointment for my trial at 11 a.m. So it's in less than an hour here. But if I end up coming out on top, I'll try to make another video if you guys are interested, just in regards to what I did, what I said, the route I took in order to fight this thing back.
So the reality is that many people who get sued by credit card companies they don't go to court. 90% of people don't show up for these trials, but you should, because if you default, they can garnish your wages like I previously spoke about. They can try to collect in other ways. So you have to be really careful about them getting judgments against you. However, oftentimes the lawyers that show up on behalf of the credit card companies, they don't even have the right paperwork for your case, and your case could end up getting dismissed. So it's always important to be prepared. Always show up for things like this when they happen.
Just served me for $31K debt that I owe them back from 2023. God. I beat cancer and I had used my credit cards to survive. And they're finally coming after me. It's $31K. They just served me. Does anyone know what I do? What do I do? Please.
Whoa. So in this case, there are always cases of being irresponsible with credit cards. There's cases where people are completely irresponsible with credit cards. They don't use them the right way. They overspend on things that are not necessities, knowing that they can't pay them back. In this case, this gentleman used his credit card to help with his cancer treatment. So obviously, cancer treatment is very expensive in the US. It is very, very expensive. And, I think about this, you have to try to save your life. So I think he did what he had to do in this case. I don't encourage this type of spending and behavior, but in this case where he was struggling with trying to defeat cancer, that is a worthy personal thing that he had to do. Obviously, now he's dealing with the ramifications of having saved his life. But, we have to make choices. And in this case, do you think he did the wrong thing by using his credit card? Now, he should pay it back, of course. Now that it seems like he's healthy, he appears healthier. But at the time, those bills pile up. You want those treatments to keep going so that you can save your life. It may seem like a worthy feat. I'd love to hear what you have to say about that in the comments.
I have to do something upsettingly adult. So I'm being sued for credit card debt. And I had a tattoo scheduled next week, a tattoo that I have been trying to get for over a year that I already had scheduled and rescheduled multiple times.
A tattoo scheduled for next week? Well, I'm not a tattoo guy, but it seems like, I wonder if she already has tattoos.
I finally put a deposit down and was committed and ready to go in and get that tattoo. But since I am being sued for credit card debt, I have to get an attorney. And the flat fee that the attorney is asking for is exactly the amount that I had saved for the tattoo.
Oh, gotta do what you gotta do.
Tragically, I have emailed my artist to reschedule once again, and I am going to use my tattoo money for my legal fees. I have never been more disgusted in my life.
It stinks to do stuff that is adult. That is for sure. When you are faced with two choices, one that's related to your desire and one that's related to your needs. Oftentimes people want to do the stuff that is related to the desire, which half the time is what gets them in these situations with credit card debt from the beginning. But in this case, she's doing the right thing. Now, the credit card company is coming after her for what I assume is a defaulted card. She obviously probably knew that she defaulted on it, hasn't made a payment on it, and was still saving for the tattoo. She probably should have made an arrangement with the credit card company before then. And I think you should always make an arrangement with the credit card company before then, assuming what happened that got your balance so high was not fraud, just to keep them off your back. But in this case, it was the right thing to do to go and make your life long-term easier. We often have to make a decision between our short-term and our long-term desires. And in this case, she's choosing her long-term, right? By hiring the lawyer. It sucks because she wants to go and get her tattoo. But at the end of the day, being an adult is about making the best possible choice in the moment, even if it's uncomfortable for you.
What's up, guys? So let me give y'all a story time about what happened today.
Oh boy.
So I'm home, just chilling this morning, drinking my coffee. All of a sudden, I get a knock on the door, and it's the sheriff from the courthouse that came here to serve me some paperwork because Credit One is suing me for an old debt from 2021. Who would have thought that credit cards are suing people now for?
Why do people think that the timing matters? It doesn't matter if it's 10 years ago. If you owe the debt and they want to come after you pursuant to the state laws of the state that you live in, and that they're within the bounds of the law, and you owe the debt because you actually charged the card, it's not like they forget. Do people really think that people forget? Like the credit card companies, of all the things that they have to do, the only thing they do all day is worry about your money, your interest, and getting paid, because they are banks. So they want their money. So they're not going to just forget that you owed it because it's been a few years. No. They are coming for their money with interest. They want it back. So that was a few years ago. It does not matter. You owe it. You owe it. Dig in your pocket.
For an old debt. That's never happened before, to me, at least. And I literally got served. And they're telling me I have 30 days to get in contact with them and try to make an arrangement. Let me show you guys.
There you go.
Now, let me know who's ever heard of that, because this is the first time I ever hear a credit card company suing anyone. Like,
Not the first time.
especially from like 2021. Never in my life heard of it. Like, I had 2 credit cards with them. I was paying it, got behind, and now all of a sudden I get this.
That's fair.
Like,
It's fair. Like sometimes you do get behind in life and payments, et cetera, much like the guy who had cancer. But the problem is you still owe it. It's an obligation. Credit card companies, they incentivize you to get their credit card, right? They give you points, they give you cash back, they give you travel rewards, miles, on and on and on. You don't have to take the incentive to actually get the card. You can choose not to do it. Now, I know that especially nowadays, there are a lot of people who swear by using credit cards more because of the liability protection with the fraud than using debit cards so that you're not just kind of out of the cash that's in your bank account, which is, I believe, a smart way to go. And I've actually switched to that strategy myself. However, like, you have to know the risk of using credit cards when you start using them. The risk is that you could get behind. Never charge more than you owe. The principle is never charge, even if they give you a $500,000 credit line, you never charge more than you can pay back. If they gave you $20,000 credit line and you can only afford this clearly Canadian, that is what you should charge and then pay off. Don't go beyond that, or you might find yourself in a situation where you end up defaulting.
And it's not even like they sold this to another company. It's a third-party company that's suing me. So you guys let me know your opinions, your comments. What do you think? What should I do? Like, because this is weird. Very weird. I am going to get in contact with them, but I don't know what to do. I'm kind of confused about this because it caught me off guard. I was like, what? Even the sheriff was laughing. He didn't even, I was like, the pettiness. Like, he drove all the way here to serve me these papers. He was laughing about it. Like, what?
It doesn't really matter how long. It doesn't really matter if you're not expecting to be served by a credit card company that you owe money to. They come. It happens. It's what it is. It's not petty for them to get money that you owe them. If someone owed you money, don't you ask them for their money? Aren't you like, where's my money? Where's my money? Where's my money? Like, it's what they do, right? They just happen to have a legal ramification to charge more interest and to be able to sue you for. I mean, people would do that if they had the means, I guess, to do it, but we just have to begin. I understand life and getting behind. That's real, especially if you live in an area of the country where it's harder to get ahead. But at the end of the day, you have to pay your debt obligations, or there might be other issues like this that come up when you're not even expecting it. I got some final thoughts. Okay, so let me land this plane. So we've got $1.2 trillion worth of credit card defaults right now, credit card debt. It's the largest since the 2008 crisis. Lawsuits are exploding across the country right now, and debt buying is at an all-time high. People are getting taken into suits. So where is the mixture? What's going on is making it hard for people to actually afford the credit card payments. It's a mixed bag, right? So part of it is inflation. Part of it is stagnant wages. Part of it is interest rates. Part of it is massive layoffs that have happened. But there's also something cultural going on right now, I believe, because at some point in America, people were sold the idea that credit cards were a tool for building your life, tool for helping to assist with getting expenses. This is what the credit card companies market, obviously beat that drum. And they certainly advertise to people who can't afford to actually spend money on a credit card. Listen, if I was you, what I would take from this video is the fact that if you got served a lawsuit for a credit card, you have to show up to your court date. Do not give them in automatic default. Seriously, less than 10% of people actually show up for the court date. You have to make sure that they have your original agreement, the right amount that you owe, et cetera, et cetera. So do not let them off the hook with that. Now, if you're drowning in credit card debt right now, before it gets to a lawsuit, you have some options. You can look into nonprofit credit card counseling. You can look into trying to call up the credit card company and negotiating your debt. You can try to make sure that you make arrangements prior to even getting to the point. These credit card companies don't want to spend money on lawyers if they don't have to. They don't want to go to trial. So they are always willing to negotiate with you. Just call them up and do the best you can. Listen, if you know somebody being sued, if you're being sued, if you've been harassed by debt collectors, I want to know. Put it in the comments. I know that credit card debt is a bugaboo that a lot of people have, but the reality is that you got to spend wise. Never spend more on your credit cards than you can afford to pay off immediately. So let me know in the comments if you're managing your credit cards well. Let me know how you're doing with it. Have you heard of somebody gotten sued before? Have you been harangued by debt collectors? I want to know what happened. Let's talk about it. Drop your comment in the comment section. I'm out.